guess I'll do that. Oh, oops.
Hello, everybody. This is Gary Michaels, and I see a few of you on. I know some of you are calling in, and some of you are online. But today we are going to talk about planning for peak performance, which is a really cool topic because most people
But you could call in but still have the video.
Most people would rather have more time, but they would like to have, and guys, if some people are on the call, please just mute yourself. That'd be awesome. Some people would rather have more time, some people would rather have more skills, but the truth of the matter is we can't really get more time. There's the same 24 hours for all of us. What we can do, however, is be more efficient in our time. And so this module of planning for peak performance has so much content in it. And I sent everybody this morning, or my assistant Janet did, the module, the master copy with lots of blanks already filled in. So if you missed part of this on the call today, we want to make sure that you get all this content because you're just going to take a couple nuggets here. And if you just take a couple nuggets, it's going to help your business. If you want to make a comment or question, feel free to come off mute. You can also text me at 408-888-4848. We have several people on the call today, and just feel free to text me or just come on even while I'm talking and say, Gary, I got a question for you. It's funny because I do see you, Diana. I know we have a lot more people than Diana on the screen, and I am excited to have you on and anybody else. So feel free, just like I said, to reach out to me if you have a question. So across all industries, one of the major issues professional salespeople struggle with is proper time management and scheduling. All too often at the end of the day, the professional salesperson can look back and feel as if they've accomplished nothing of value. So how can we actually plan for peak performance? Because our schedule is our lifeline, and our schedule, what we put on our schedule, our self-talk, and our attitude are the only things that we can control in our life. And so you can control your schedule. You can't make somebody can't make you do something that you don't want to do. I mean, there are extreme circumstances where that could happen, but in most cases, you put your schedule together. So your strategy around planning for peak performance is huge. And people lose their time by these three areas that are huge. By not knowing where they're going or what they're doing next. So I always talk about planning the night before and having every detail planned out the night before so that you sleep well and you get up in the morning, you know where you're going and you got a backup plan. 2, by diverting their focus across too many activities at once. And this causes stress. Stress is when you're thinking about the past, the future, and you're not what we call present and in the moment. And I just did a blog on that last week. I did a Turn It Up a Notch Tuesday on that. And it's such a huge thing is to be present. But if you're not present and you're thinking the past or the future or too many things at once, you're not going to be at your top performance, which is huge. And 3 is fatigue or negativity slows people down. Well, again, negativity can be changed by positive self-talk. Fatigue can be changed by enough sleep, all things of which you can control. So I'm going to give lots of tips today, and you're going to take the best, leave the rest. And so if it doesn't get calendared, it doesn't get done is a big topic. And so is your calendar and your day, is it written out? You know, you're 7 times more likely to be successful if your goals and your writing and your calendar, it's in writing and it's right in front of you, than if it's just in your head. So some of the people that we work with come in and they kind of have a general idea of what they're doing the next day, but I am huge into planning the night before and having every detail done. And if this happens, this happens. So for every 8 to 10 hours you're going to work, a good general rule of thumb is spend 30 minutes preparing for it. And it will help you have the right attitude the next day. It will help you be more efficient. So like at 5:30 typically on most days, I'm starting to wind down and put my day together for the next day. So this is kind of a cool thing too to understand if you're in business development at all. And that is that often we say, where did all our time go? You know, most people sleep for 8 hours, and most people will work for 8 hours and then have 8 hours of discretionary time during their days. And now everybody's different. Some people sleep less, some people work more, etc. But if you think what could happen if you could make one cold call, and I like to say warm call because we should work by referral, but one call every 30 minutes of every working day, you'd meet over 3,800 people in a year. Now, what if you only spent 50% of your time doing what we call IPA, income producing activities? That would still be 1,900 new people you'd meet every year. And you could say, well, I don't do cold calling. Well, they won't be cold calling because you're going to learn how to do warm calling and get referred in, etc. But if you could average meeting or talking to someone on the phone every 30 minutes, what's possible? So that all requires you to be on top of your numbers and being on track, knowing what you've done so far and what the gap is. So if you're taking notes today, the gap is where you want to be and where you are now, and what activity will it take? What activity will it take to bridge the gap? That's what we say, bridge the gap. So right here we talk about a 60 to 70% IPA, but most people want to get in at least a 50% IPA. And IPA, again, is income producing activities. The only two income producing activities in business development are prospecting and presenting. So if you were to spend 50% doing IPA, at the low end, 60 to 70% doing IPA, you could figure out what your time is worth and the value of each minute of your day. So if you made, let's say, $800 in a day, and you're working 8 hours, it's $100 an hour, and then you divide that by 60 minutes, that's what you're making per minute, over $1 a minute. You're not going to be wasting any time. So these are some things that you can do to use your time wisely when you're doing IPA. Focus on making 10 contacts a day. I always say a contact is a connection with a person that knows what you do for a living, and that person either blows you off or the person sets an appointment with you or actually meets with you right at that time. So you put your self-esteem into your work habits of making the contact as opposed to the results you get from making the contact. So if you know you're going to be able to make 30 contacts because everybody you're talking to is very open to what you do and they're easy to reach, you can all reach them all in a networking event or whatever. But wherever you can make your contacts, the more contacts you make, the more results you're going to have, especially if you're saying the right thing. The other thing that I'm really huge on, and this is like a big game changer for a lot of our clients, is looking at your calendar and looking from now to the next 3 weeks, how many appointments ahead are you? So like I just counted before I got on with you guys, and right now I'm 10 appointments ahead. And that means 10 people that know I'm talking to them, and they're very open-minded to talking to you, but it's an expected call. Expected Zoom call, expected phone call, expected meeting. If you've got 10 plus people that are looking forward to meeting you in the next couple of weeks, your business is somewhat prosperous because you're going to have the attitude of plenty versus attitude of scarcity. Now, if you are 2 appointments ahead, you put too much pressure on yourself to close the deal, to close the next step. So just keep that in mind, that always try to stay 5 if you're only at 1 or 2 right now, or 10 appointments ahead would be a good game plan, so you can sell with less pressure. And you can sell with the concept of they may or may not be interested, but let me just show you what we do. If you like it, great. If not, that's okay too. You know, so you have a non-pressure environment, which is very attractive to people. You know, show what you're doing 2 times a day, if possible, and make follow-up contacts to get next steps of people that you've already met. So what are your income producing activities? Being a scorekeeper, letting people know and yourself know exactly how many contacts you have to make an appointment, how many appointments set to actual presentations, how many dials do I need to make, and having an accountability system to doing it all absolutely helps you stay more on track and better at what you do. So what kind of accountability system do you have to your activity? Are you reporting to a manager? Do you have a power partner? Do you have somebody you've given the ability to hold you accountable? It's very important to do that. So the way to do that is to make sure you've got enough time every day planned out to make your calls. So I always like to tell about the rocks, pebbles, sand, water example. And you've probably heard this before, but yeah, a student puts a bunch of rocks, like boulder-sized rocks, in this big jar. And this is like a big pickle vat jar from the carnival. It has the big pickles in it. And they take like boulder-sized rocks, like softballs, and stick them into the big vat, and it looks like it's full to the top. And the teacher says, "Is it full?" And most of the class says, "Yes, it's full." And it says, "No, it's not. See, I can take these pebbles right here, and these are smaller side rocks, and shake it in between the big rocks." And then he says, "Is this full?" And the student said, "No, it's not full." Well, you could take some sand and put that in between everything all the way down to the bottom. Is it full? The answer is no, because you could still put water in there. So always be moving towards keeping your pipeline full with what we call the rocks, the big ones, the ones that make a difference, the things that matter. It's really important. And if you have 1,000 people in your database, that's a kind of a goal to get to, where you're keeping in touch with people, then you're going to always have plenty of people to call on, follow up on, etc. So again, a self-reflection question would be, what percentage of capacity am I currently working at? How thorough are my presentations? How well do you know your potential clients before going in to ask for the sale? And did you prep the potential clients with awesome marketing beforehand so they knew exactly what you're going into there to talk about? A couple more concepts on planning for peak performance is about having a power partner. And a power partner is a person that's going to partner with you along this way to make yourself better. A power partner is a person that you're going to maybe share leads with. A power partner is a person that's going to hold you accountable to. A power partner shows that they work real hard and they study real hard. A power partner is a really cool thing. You're only as strong as your weakest link, and we're teams, as we're together, everyone achieving more. So what are you doing to power partner with you, with someone important that you can help them, they can help you? It's huge. Someone that will work hard, someone that will study hard. And I always say to people, if I can't be a number one vendor for a particular client, I want to position myself to be number two. To set yourself apart, develop a good 30-second commercial. Don't find customers, eliminate customers. So let's talk about 30-second commercial. This is what we call an elevator speech. And I'm going to do a whole session on elevator speeches on a future training. But an elevator speech is anywhere between 7 and 30 seconds, but what you do for a living. And it should get the other person to go, "Oh man, that's good. Wow, I want to talk to them. I want to work with them." So make sure you have that first little bit when you talk to somebody. It sounds really good. Like, I'm Gary. I'm with Southwestern Consulting. You may or may not have heard of us, but we're the guys that actually help companies develop skills and word tracks and mindsets in order to absolutely take their business to another level. Our average client that's in our coaching program or one of our ongoing programs where they're connecting with one of our consultants on a regular basis is a 23% lift from year 1 to year 2 if they actually execute all the things that we're teaching. So that is a script. That is finding customers, eliminating prospects, have a really good script for your elevator speech, and then have a good what you're going to say to people as you continue to talk to them, because it's all about creating trust. And if they know what they can expect from you, that you're reliable, they'll want to do more business with you. Your self-talk of saying you're the best company with the best products, working for the best company, that's a given. So I always believe that I work for the best company, the best product, best services for this person at this time. I always say that to myself to keep myself psyched up, because I'm normal, just like you guys are. I get blown off. I get people saying no. I get all that just like you do. But when you have a real good game plan, it's huge. PDR is a concept that I talk about often, called practice, drill, rehearse. And so that is huge. So you should always practice, drill, and rehearse your day before you're going to be presenting something. I'm just going through this slow so you can read this on your own too. Are you a slave to your email? Do you have to respond as soon as it comes in? Do you allow your schedule to dictate when you check email, when you look at your phone, or are you getting consumed by things outside your life? So are you cell phone junkies? Your desk need to be perfect before you can go to work. Are you too conversationalist when you're at work? Do you do too much random surfing on the internet between your appointments? These are all little things add up and make a big difference. So what can you do to stop those? What can you do to do less of those things that are the things that are holding you back? Oops. So some more tips. Get to your schedule during the workday. Your schedule will be crucial to your financial success. You lose time in transition to a new activity. So that's what we call golden hours. And golden hours are things that you're doing during the day that are really good time to be in touch with people during the business day. And golden hours should be batched. And batch scheduling means you're going to do from 8 to 11, you're going to do this. From 11 to 1, you're going to do this. From 1 to 4, you're going to do this. From 4 to 5:30, you're going to do this. And that way it gets people that are around you knowing what you're doing, because you can let people know my schedule is. But two is it gives you some free time and some time to really think through what you're doing when you're working. So it's like, it's not like how many hours can you put in, it's how many quality hours you can put in. And then you can come back to reality because you put the quality hours in. So I teach a thing called 10 points. You guys may be familiar with David Letterman. And David Letterman, one of my favorite talk show hosts for years. And he would do his 10 points every day, or top 10 countdown. So these are 10 things that when I wrote my book, Getting In and Getting Out, that I absolutely believed in. And they're just here for you to think about every single day. Because my manager said, Gary, you're one of the best planners I know ever of a single day. And I said, well, I'm not really good at a week or a month or a year because too many things change. But I can plan a great day with the best of them. And if you plan 7 great days, you're going to have a great week. And if you have 4 great weeks, you're going to have a great month. If you have 12 great months, you're going to have a great year. But it's all about refocusing every day on 10 things that are absolutely important. Now, these are my 10 points. You can have 10 points that are different, that are your 10 points. But this is what really works for a lot of our students, is these 10 points here. Work on doing something productive before 8 a.m. It could be a note. It could be outbound prospecting. It could be praying. It could be working out at the gym. But something productive to get the momentum going. Second of all is always be working on your phone appointment skills. From third-party names and testimonials and what to say when they say this, you say this, but it's huge. Next, have a consistent flow of prospects to talk to. When you have more people to talk to, there's less pressure. You sell better. Look at your goals for the next 12 months and see what you'd have to do on a monthly, weekly, and daily basis to achieve the goal. What would you want to do daily to see how much progress you made towards the goal? It's great to keep an eye on 3 things. Remember where you are, how much you accomplished that day, and the goal, and what you still have to do to get it. So that's all about bridging the gap in scorekeeping. The daily point game is the goal of getting 3 points a day. You get 1 point for setting an appointment, and you get 1 point for every presentation you do. So, and then the other point, you could do whatever you want to do. You could give yourself a bonus for attitude. You can give yourself bonus points for referrals or the higher the sale. But this is a little game plan you can use here. "15 minutes a day putting positive thoughts into your mind." And if you do 15 minutes a day doing positive affirmations and 15 minutes a day doing skill set stuff, that is 2.5 hours a week, not including weekends, 10 hours a month. It's like 120 hours would be like a ton. It would be like a 3-week college course. So really dig deep to what you get, and be prideful, and put your time in, and then you'll get the payout for sure. Number 8 is spend at least 20% of your group's time going after groups that can produce larger help results. So this is good referral partners, big companies. Spend 20% of your time going after big companies, because sometimes the sale of you make to a big company of whatever it is you're selling, it may be better than what you guys originally had. So that is a big one. Another big one to be more efficient with your time is referrals. See, if you get referrals and you're constantly asking for referrals, then absolutely you're going to do better with the people that you get in front of, because some of those referrals, you'll actually get the referral, and then you're going to have a warm welcome from the person that referred you. So you're cutting through all of the garbage and the mess, and just asking everybody for a referral and being humble about it. And it's no big deal. If you know somebody, great, we'll go ahead and set something up to work together. If you don't know anybody, that's okay too. Okay, I just want to show you what we do. Ask everyone you meet and know for a referral. Spend at least 15 minutes a day putting positive thoughts in your head, as well as number 10 here is sharpening the saw 15 minutes a day. And sharpening the saw is absolutely technical skills to be better at what you do. So you can be better mentally by reading affirmations 15 minutes a day and positive thoughts, but 15 minutes a day learning technical skills also is huge. Schedule phone prospecting time on Mondays so you can start your week strong, and also have something at the end of the day on Friday so you can finish the week strong. Start thinking about Monday on Friday. Avoid distractions. Break apart larger tasks and do each part one at a time until fully completed is a big thing to work on. I'm not reading everything, obviously, to you guys, because you have this packet and you should go through this, but I'm adding a little bit of extra topics, extra points, extra schools of thought on this stuff. So bear with me in that we're almost through here. Having an effective to-do list is really important. And if you keep track every day and you plan out your next day the night before, then you should have a list that you can kind of move things from day 1 to day 2 without any hassle. It's very easy to do it if you didn't get it finished the first day. Now, if you're having a challenge with all this, you can get an assistant. So to give you kind of a little school of thought on assistants is, if you don't have an assistant, you are an assistant earning an assistant's pay. And I remember getting my first assistant when I got my very first job, professional job that is, with Great American, which is a school fundraising company. And I remembered so much that I wanted to work. And but I also knew that if I wanted to earn $100 an hour or more, then I had to stop doing the $5 and $10 an hour jobs. So here's some tips on how to work with an assistant. Know exactly how many sales you'll need to pay for the assistant so you can see the ROI on it. You have to be willing to delegate and know that they may not get the job done as well as you'll get the job done, but know that them at full capacity and you only part capacity because you're overwhelmed or you're not skill set enough is much better. So make sure you know exactly what you're going to do and make sure you make it very clear to them. And then make sure you spend time with your assistant to make sure that they are on the same track as you. Don't hire someone just like you. They may end up being a lot like you because they work with you, but you hire someone just like you, often it's just tough because you might see their errors, but because you give yourself permission on the errors, you don't confront in love. And so try to hire people that are maybe different than you, maybe have some similar likes, but have a little bit different personality. Take them on ride-alongs and let them listen to phone calls, let them read all the scripts, let them know exactly what you're going through so they can better serve you. Positive attitude. We've talked about positive attitude a lot, and you must be in the mood to succeed. I actually read this often. I'm in the mood when the alarm goes off in the morning. I'm in the mood when you walk into the bathroom and look at yourself in the mirror in the day. I'm in the mood when you drive to work. I'm in the mood when you talk to your significant other. I'm in the mood when you talk to your kids. I'm in the mood when you talk to your friends. I'm in the mood when you get to work. I'm in the mood when you talk to coworkers. I'm in the mood when you're dealing with your boss. I'm in the mood, all of this stuff when you're dealing with customers and prospects. So have this mentality of that you're always in the mood to be successful. Okay, so get early starts, tie up all loose ends. Early starts, they're saying more and more that people are starting before 7 a.m. in the morning, guys, to get a good start. Some people see them starting before 6 because they want to get a good start to the day and get momentum going. You want to tie up loose ends, if there is any loose ends, before you put your head on the pillow at night, especially on Friday afternoons before the weekend. And make sure you eat healthy food. That's a big deal. If you're not eating healthy food and drinking healthy liquids, then it's going to catch up to you when you're trying to be well planned. Get out of bed early in the morning. Arguably the worst thing you can do in your motivation in the morning is stay lying in a comfortable bed and keep hitting snooze several times. Give yourself the permission to do one snooze and then get out. Or give yourself the permission to be someone that gives yourself the permission to actually be disciplined. That is huge. Be disciplined. Remember that pain of regret is always is much worse than the pain of putting the work in. So remember, it's that right now is not the past. Don't live in the past and live in the future because that causes too much stress. Live in the moment. Drink a lot of water to live in the moment. Make sure you stretch. And always keep one eye on the goals. Always kind of like, hey, I know I need to do this much, and I'm 62% of my goal at this point. I'm going to catch up this week. And being able to absolutely keep goals on things of where you're at and where you're going is huge. And then you're just trying to bridge the gap. A few extra questions for you here. I'm telling you how to have the abundance mentality is more than having a positive mental attitude, although positive mental attitude is very important. When you have a positive mental attitude, you look at how things can be done rather than why they can't be done. You believe that there's a will, there's a way. You look for parodies, possibilities and opportunities rather than obstacles and problems. Abundance mentality will take you beyond a small mental step, eliminate small thinking and offset negative energy. It can mean the difference between success and failure, excellence and mediocrity, and prosperity and despair. If you have this abundant mentality, you're thinking the more I sell, the more there is to sell. The more I give, the more there is to give. The more I know, the more there is to know. People are great. People will help me reach my goals if I just have the right integrity and focus and put in what you have to do. It's going to happen. If you have that abundance mentality, you believe there are enough resources available to accomplish your goals. Have written plans. Remember, like I said before, is if your goals are in writing and you're reviewed regularly, you're 7 times more likely to be successful. Use an abundance mentality affirmations, which you can read 4 to 6 times a day. And also, you can have what's called a support group. We've started at Southwestern Consulting. It's a brand new product, and please call me, and I'd be more than willing to tell you about it because we're just launching it. We're going to have the very first people in it to bring this thing to fruition. But it's called our Mastermind program, and having a community and being able to work with 4 or 5 other people every single month on the goals you have, it's absolutely amazing. So feel free to reach out to me if you want more information on it, because our first few people, there'll be some really cool stuff that you'll be getting into. And just remember, Mastermind program, very cool. But it is all about having the goals written down and being willing to adapt, and it's just so huge. Make sure that your clutter is not around you, because when you have a lot of clutter, a lot of dirtiness in your house or in your office, it causes you to mentally slow down. So sit tall, no slouching, drink lots of water, make sure your chair is positioned right so it sits you up at a 90-degree angle, and so you're not like this. Your screen is in the right position for you. The lighting is good when you're doing your planning and your IPA. Your keyboard positioning is at a good level, so you're not bending over with your hands. Make sure that, how do you say this right? But stay healthy by keeping your computer clean, because often people may shake your hands, and then they may have a disease or have a sickness, not disease, but sickness. And then their germs go on your keyboard, and you keep going on your keyboard and your hands, and you touch yourself and your face. And so just be really careful about keeping your computer clean and your keyboard positioning good, so you can have just the very, very best success through using a computer. Less lists is if you're getting things done every day, and then you don't have to have paper lists anymore. I will put my list right into my iPhone, and you can do the same thing. Get out, move around, stretch. Plan out your days very detailed, so you can kind of see here that this student actually starts early in the morning doing personal stuff with Bible reading and workouts. They often will work till late at night, potentially, since they need to do homework one night a week. They'll have some blank areas on their calendar so that they have time to still fill in the gaps. But this person's doing very well because they had a very specific game plan of what they wanted to do. The time awareness log is another thing that you can use. This, I created it in my first book. And it's like, Gary, you're overwhelming me. You're sharing so much stuff. It's lots of facts and ideas. And like I said today, you take the best, you leave the rest. But sometimes people don't know where they're wasting their time. So in my book, I talk about the time awareness log. And what we want you to do is, for 21 plus or minus days, we want you to write down everything you're doing from the time you start in the morning to the time in the evening. And you're going to start to see patterns like, I took too long playing with Facebook. Oh, I didn't do that very well. Oh, that's a good idea. And when you take 21 days to actually analyze everything you do from the time you get up in the morning to the time you go to bed, really powerful. And I'd be willing to, anybody that does a time awareness log, feel free. My email is gmichaels@southwesternconsulting.com. And if you reach out to me and you do your 21-day log, I will not charge you extra for this. I'd like to give this to you. We'll do an analysis of how you're spending your time, so I can give you some power suggestions on how to be more efficient with it. So there we have a lot a lot of little detail things that you can do to be better with your planning and peak performance. The thing is, now that you go out and you execute, you go out and you make things happen. You go out and you do some really good planning and organizing so you're more effective during the day. So that's this week's Turn It Up a Notch. Remember, you guys all have the ability to reach out to me and call me in between sessions. I'm here for you for that. Just feel free to reach out, and then you'll get the planning. You will get this recording in the next few days, so you can listen to it over and over and over again while you're driving, and you'll actually get a review call that we'll do in a couple weeks to review some of these main points. So there we have it. So if anybody has any questions or comments, feel free to come off mute and ask me any questions that you currently have. Okay, then this will be today's training. This one was a little bit less interactive. It was lots and lots and lots of detail. So this is what I'm suggesting. You listen to the recording while you're driving, and also you're taking the handout and reading it for the next 21 days for maybe a few minutes a day. But all this stuff I'm teaching you will become a habit, and it will save you a ton of time because you are a much better planner.